So they'll be calling your article. Now this is an important video. I know I put up a lot of content today because there's so much fucking going on. And listen, it doesn't really matter. The contemporary masses, it doesn't give a fuck if they watch anyway. What's the fucking point? They're not going to do anything. I mean, blah, blah, blah. All we hear is Radio Gaga. They're addicted to that shit. It's our tiny fuck. I know who I'm speaking to. Our tiny fucking post-ignorance fucking army taking on the nuclear energy. Now listen, this is real important. This is a big deal in northern Japan. Now this isn't right where the tsunami struck. This is even above Fukushima. Now, the floods, the water. Now listen. The Reuters article makes it sound like this is reactors producing electricity. It's producing none. None. It's in cold shutdown. All of them are in cold shutdown except for one, and that's the weapons fucking was refired up that went into partial meltdown, and Google took my video down that fucking video had 300,000, made the front page of Reddit. Google took it down for no reason. So, anyway, it's in cold shutdown. It's producing energy. Now listen to me. Listen, this is real important. Why was there a rolling blackout? Because the coal plant got fucking wiped out over there also. Now listen. This is a big deal. Because they failed to pivot into fucking wind and solar, just like the United States, which the rest of the world has. And now California's done it. So, but listen to me. The spent fuel is stored on site in that reactor, just like the rest of them, just like on all here. It has to keep cool. It takes a tremendous amount of energy to keep it cool. So where do they get the energy if it's not producing? From the coal-fired plant. Here you get the fucking chain of catastrophe of this evil fucked up industry. Many of the nuclear reactors in the United States and the world are actually taking more energy than they produce. These are active ones to keep spent. Why? Because spent fuel has stacked up and stacked up and stacked. I mean, these things have been over, and that's the law. Way over capacity. So this reactor, they're reporting for 10 hours went into shutdown. Now that's a big deal. That's a catastrophe, because it don't take that long. And now we won't know. We'll know in the next couple of days if we can get anything out of there. So what happens, like happened at Fukushima, and I need to explain what happened to Fukushima. And we'll talk about some more things. And like I said, it doesn't matter how many videos. At this point, we have to tag content. This is important. So, the spent fuel pools, and I have the FOIA documents, I hypothesized that they were never a hydrogen blast. Arnie Gunderson that says that shit ought to have his fucking ass kicked. It's a fucking bullshit. I argued with him. He was commenting on my videos. I blocked his ass. Same with Busby. So, tell the Japanese, they're tidy little bit. Yeah, disgusting. Why do you think we got our ass kicked? Fucking idiots like that running the fucking field of false equivalency TV on RT. So, when Fukushima happened, there were active spent fuel pools, everything. And I have all the FOIA documents now that back up everything I hypothesized. So what happened on the shake, these Mach 1, Mach 2s, which is built here, I mean, they're all over the United States, can only handle the core. The core can only handle up to about a 7.8, 7.6. Some people say 7.3. But anyway, the core cracks. That containment madness, once it cracks, that containment vessel, it can't even back up into the relief valve. So this dog and pony show, somehow it backed up into the relief valve and the relief valve wasn't working. It's total bullshit. Total bullshit. The core's cracked. The madness was released into the building, into the structure. That fucking madness, it don't take long. You're talking the most intense, strongest bombs in the world. This energy is that incredibly crazy intense. Why do you think they're trying to dump water on it real quick to force it into the Pacific Ocean for a few days, which they've dumped in the whole time? That energy started to build up in there, and it fucking blew these things to smithereens. The spent fuel pools, all of them at Fukushima, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now 6 and 7 were experimental reactors, 3 Mach fuel. I hypothesized that the pools cracked on the shake because I know a spent fuel pool can only handle about a 7.2, 7.3. This is a fucking 9. I knew they cracked open. So what happens? The water runs out of them, just like I'm afraid might have happened here. So the water goes out, and we have what we call zirc fires. Western zirconium right here. That's what they do out there. And I'll stay with me. Marquardt, who just, now this is a great story. I got a lot of good stories. But Marquardt, the nuclear waste that's stored at Little Mountain, now who they said has never been stored, it's called Marquardt. Now I found the FOIA document. I do a lot of work, and people want to know. I read a tremendous amount. You wouldn't believe how many hours a day. And I don't just read contemporary shit. I don't watch TV. I fucking dig in. I find PhDs. I dig. I found the FOIA document on the cleanup of the nuclear waste at Little Mountain, Utah, my house. It isn't there. So Marquardt, the scumbag fucker, that's who put up the football field, saved Weber State's football program, the philanthropist around here, nuclear, born with a silver spoon up his fucking crooked ass. He got cancer. Okay, a few years ago. Post-Fukushima, he's dying. This is the fucking beautiful justice of that fucking rat. So, this Run for the Cure, who's the greatest snake oil salesman, Rick Simpson's the greatest snake oil salesman ever, and he asked Marquardt's family. So this guy's panic, what can happen to me? They got to be able to save me. There's magic stuff out there that'll save me. We got cures. This is the arrogance flaw of the fucking baby boomer, fucking Eki boomer, these fucking arrogant fucking people that think they're above it. They Run from the Cure looted $2 million fucking dollars from me. And he was full of ammo, had no chance, and fucking died. His family's having a fit saying they're going to sue. Somebody ought to sue those fuckheads. So back to the reactors. So the cores, all of them. This Dog and Pony Show lie on number 4. As I reported immediately, I says, fuck you, 4 blew to fucking smithereens. Now I have footage we found, and I could post it on the 15th of June, 14th of June, Flag Day, Flag Day, Flag Day on Flag Waver. Not me. Fucking blew up again. I mean, blew. We have the video. I found it. And then a Hawaii blogger, I got it to them. They blogged it and put it up. So, it's blown up multiple times along the way. So, they were dumping water, helicopter, then the USS Reagan, which, by the way, Edwards and Paul, and I think you dumb fuckers. I tried to warn you. Looks like General Electric's going to file fucking bankruptcy. You're out. Good luck getting against Mitsubishi and Hike, because they're going to do the same thing. Just like Westinghouse did, just like fucking Arriva's done, just like Chicago Bridge and Iron, right down fucking these fucking criminal derelict bastards. They socialize the losses, they capitalize the gains. Heads they win, tails they win, meltdowns they fucking win. They think until they get cancer like Marquardt and die. So, they cracked. They're called Zerk fires. The zirconium rods that are made here that fucking house the fucking Thelma hot. Now remember, Nora got leukemia the same time that made Silkwood. The producer, she got leukemia the same time I did and died. Now, Meryl Streep won't talk, which blows my mind. Craig and I had this conversation at the Peace Vigil this morning. He mans the Peace Vigil in D.C. By the way, I'll be there soon for the Million Mass March. And take my turn. And so, these celebrities won't step out. They're afraid. Well, they've got their golden handcuffs, I don't know. But so the Zerk fires, they rub together, they start to fucking melt together, and they're everything, then some, of a nuclear fucking meltdown. Then some. That's exactly what happened. Once they melt together in that fusion fire, it gets hotter and hotter, and they blow to fucking smithereens. And that's what happened. Mox fuel. What's Mox fuel? Number 3 was chock full of it. Remember Savannah River, the fairy tale Mox fuel plant in fucking Savannah River, fucking Georgia? The French company says, we got them arguing. No, they don't. They're fucking lying. It started out at 455 million. 29 billion later, the DOE goes in and does an investigation in 2015 and says, the United States government has been billed for 72% completion. We're only 28% completion. That's fraud from hell. That's Arriva, the French-based fucking company, and Chicago Bridge and Iron. Of course, Westinghouse. Gee, it's all the same fucking cartel. So these things rub together and blue. So this reactor is not online. Not online. Like Reuters makes you lead to believe because they had a rolling blackout. The rolling blackout had nothing to do with the fucking reactor. It fucking, well, nothing to do. The reactors are taking up all the energy. They're having to, look, a nuclear reactor's causing more pollution with coal because of that. These cores have to be kept cool. They take more fucking energy because this waste is just building up and building up, building up. That gets me to, you know, of course, the DOE and the NRC, the nuclear reactor cheerleaders who are criminal derelicts. They're all kinds of corruption. And Rick Perry just fast-tracked the privatization of with Holtec at their hole in Texas that Rick Perry owns. And more collusion, more corruption in the Trump administration, just like the Obama administration. I mean, this is outrageous. And so, I know I put up a lot of content, but it doesn't matter at this point. Because contemporary sheep's like, I have 2 friends here. One's a hard right fucking teabagger fucking Fox News watches all day. And they're older. They're in their 70s. The other's MSNBC, whatever. I talk to them both, you know. I'm kind of in between of both. You know, they're both intelligent, decent dudes. They're hypnotized. They're drunk. I've been over their houses outside talking to their wives and or girlfriend, and you can hear them inside yelling at the TV. So you say, oh, they will literally watch MSNBC for fucking 7, 8, 9, 10 hours because they're both retired. They're 7 years old. Fox News, he watches she says he watches 15 hours a day and sits and screams at the TV. Fuck. So I put up a alarm count, what, an hour a day, if that? But it doesn't matter because the contemporary fucking sheep they're indoctrinated, they're branded, they're fucking drunk on fucking dogma. I mean, that's it. They're hypnotized. Orwell, fucking, let me tell you fucking sheep something. Winston, 2 + 2 is still 4. Winston, I mean, you're hypnotized. You're fucking gone. Alex Jones is a paid fucking troll rider. One dumb, useful idiot. Fucking, Fox News run right out of the House of Windsor, flag fucking wavers. And like I said, Kaepernick, I was a fan of his. I won't stand for no fucking Pledge of Allegiance. It's outrageous. Pledge of Allegiance. I don't pledge to nothing. You know, the Star Spangled Banner, I like the song. But I'm not sure fucking standing up, putting my hand over for fucking a bunch of fucking, you know, the United States, who's basically a fucking war machine for fucking oligarch corporations and fucking billionaires. That's all. Our military is nothing but a militia for them and looting. You know, it's like people says, oh, I love capitalism. This has nothing to do with fucking capitalism. This isn't capitalism. We earn more wealth than anybody on earth. It goes to the military. It's imperialism. Wannabe, I wannabe. So I got a whistleblower inside Japan right now. So my whistleblower inside Japan, well, he's here. He works for the Trump fucking Japanese consulate. Well, it's not even a consulate. It's a program that Obama set up for the cover-up of Fukushima. He's been coming to me. And the handoff between Trump and Obama, be the first one in there. He says, you're all over it. He says, they are blown away. He says, you know, Obama just did whatever they fucking asked him and told him. He knew everything. I mean, he was just a good, dumb fucking Uncle Tom Obama puppet. You know, what an Uncle fucking Tom. What an insult to Uncle Tom, Barry Antoinette, just like Colin Kaepernick now. He's working for who? Nike's the biggest slave owners in the world. I mean, the false equivalency fucking activists, that's what kills us. No, I'm the real fucking thing. I'll fuck around. I'm speaking tonight at the Salt Lake City Library with Hill on this very subject, on this, trying to bring the 700,000 pounds of depleted uranium. The Dirty Herbies promised me they won't, but, you know, of course, he bailed out Energy Solutions when he told me one. His father died of leukemia. Mike Lee's died of leukemia. I mean, all these criminal fucking derelicts. I want to say this, too, about this. They just raided this mega dairy. It's about fucking time. This mega dairy out here, this county commissioner, you wouldn't believe the criminals that he has living in houses all over. It's all criminal. It's never been the exploiter, it's the exploited. That fucking Dega farm that fucking was exploiting this guy caused the murder of that. You fucking rights he did. I mean, that farmer, hairsprayed fucking masquerade party, Johnny got his gun. I'm a farmer. He loved his fucking milk his cow 4 times a day. He loved his cow. He loved his air conditioning, fucking brown person exploited fucking plow. Why don't you bust all these fuckers that are fucking exploiting labor? Like these contractors, I mean, it's not the exploited, it's the exploiters. The same people bitching about her, the fucking ones that are robbing and raping him. You know, this fucking place. So the reactor in northern Japan was not online. It's not online. So this rolling blackout somehow went off. That's how they spin this. That's how Reuters and black. That's this false equivalency, just like Colin Kaepernick. I'm a fucking activist. I go to work for the greatest slave owner in fucking history. Now think about that. You know, Harry Beecher Stowe wrote fucking, I will quote Abraham Lincoln when he met Harry Beecher. So you're the little lady who started the fucking war. Uncle Tom's Cabin. Remember, she was a fucking gazillionaire. She broke ranks. Where's the Gimlet girls when we need them? Where's fucking Harry Beecher Stowe when we need them? Where's Peggy Guggenheim? No, they hold fucking wealth because those wealthy girls grew up with sophistication and intelligence and fucking dynamics, and they broke ranks with their money. Where I met Patty Hearst. I met her in fucking down there at Diablo Canyon in the store. Jules introduced me to her, and she was like a little grandma. Oh, hi, how are you? Well, Kevin's somewhat of a radical freaking anti-nuclear activist. She said that to Patty Hearst. Patty Hearst will go, oh, that's lovely. That's so nice, Kevin. Oh, pleasure to meet you. I'm not kidding. I mean, when are we going to get one of you fucking gazillionaires fucking break ranks and fund this fucking, you know, my activism, our fucking post-ignorance army? In contrast to the Manhattan Project is the post-ignorance part. We got an army, and we're willing to do all that. We do all the dirty work. So I'll see you at the Salt Lake City Library I mean, fuck this. We don't make it in Utah. We don't want it. They don't make it in Idaho. They don't make it in New Mexico either. They make it in Texas. So Rick Perry claims you've consented in Texas. So this reactor, is it in meltdown? I'm going to work on it. I'm working on it. I'm talking to him. My whistleblower, I've got a contact phone number. You know, I'm swore to secrecy again. I've tried to contact Mikado there in Argentina. They're out of the Japanese royal family. We'll get to the bottom of it, but they went without coolant for at least 10 hours. That's Reuters, so you can times that by fucking 10. So the spent fuel, zircon, and melding together, if they are, they will blow up. And into the atmosphere, the jet stream moves left to right. Breaking news, fish swim. By the way, the salmon collapse in earnest. I just looked at the fucking Colombian number. It's horrific. Way worse than even last year's nightmare. Oh, it's just a trend. Just a cycle. The trend ain't your fucking friend. Fucking stand tuned. This is a big deal in northern Japan. They lost coolant. Takes more fucking energy to keep nuclear spent fuel pools fucking cool than they, and that's the answer to fucking global warming. When they boil all the Earth's water, I mean, up is down, black is fucking white. I mean, wake the fuck up, you fucking morons. You know, get off this God's gun, and start fucking getting some concrete. It's not your pseudo-facto theology, it's not your pseudo-facto sociology. It's the ecology, stupid. Stay tuned.